Is it warocracy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face.
Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell
On
with it.
Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
All right, you're welcome back, and it's your usual steamy breakfast participatory program called Digest. If you're just joining us, we're still looking at President Buhari's 365 days in office, assessing the development so far, and I have a PDP stalwart. He was the former director of research in Ogun State People's Democratic Party, Wale Junaid. Once again, you're welcome. And to my far left, a regular face here, a social and rights crusader, GT Ogunye, is a legal practitioner.
Yes,
yeah, GT, during the course of the paper's review, we're trying to look at some key areas where this government made pronouncements. I know as a social crusader, you wouldn't be too happy with the state of the economy or the pockets of the common man now.
Certainly, nobody ought to be happy, whether you are a social crusader or not, because the economy has not improved in the last 1 year. Know that people, who knew, expected that there was going to be an instant El Dorado or a dramatic turnaround. As a matter of fact, this government has told us that they didn't know that the rot was very deep when they were campaigning and making all their fantastic promises. But having gotten into government, they've now discovered and realized that we are in a deep hole, and that digging ourselves out of that hole will take some time. And of course, there are a lot of macroeconomic variables that come to affect,
you call them variables, some people call them vagaries.
Well, I'm using the terminology of the economists and all that. Using the terminology of the economists. So, that have indicated that in the last 1 year, the revenue inflow of government that was a constant factor in stabilizing the economy. That revenue inflow has plummeted.
Yeah.
And so
70%.
Yes, and because of that, so we're having this problem. But overall, let me say this so that I'll put it in context. Let me start off by saying that, and I'll go to the economy because general overview. Let me say that President Muhammadu Buhari, last 365 days have been a kind of mixed bag. He had 3 pillars basically when he was campaigning, and I've alluded to this earlier.
Yeah.
Fighting insecurity in the land, revamping the economy, and fighting corruption. And for sure, the administration scored itself high, and the party in power at the center scored this administration very high yesterday. But we do not expect both to admit failure. It's not usually the kind of thing people do. It's left to the Nigerian people to x-ray the administration performance in the past 1 year and come to a conclusion on what they've achieved and how the country has fared under this administration. Now let me pick this Syria team one after the other. Security, fighting insecurity in the country. I think that the administration has done a lot, and I think that it's won praises locally and internationally in combating Boko Haram.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is that when the administration came to power, Boko Haram was holding territory. It was in firm control of 40 local governments. It's declared a caliphate. It's hoisted the flag. It started raising taxes and generating revenue on its own in that area, and it's pledged allegiance to ISIS. That was where we were when this administration came, and there was a containment strategy, so to speak. The government quickly built a coalition in the region. Multinational task force came into existence, and the administration started combating Boko Haram. And by, as of today, Boko Haram is confined to Sambisa forest. So it's no longer in a position to hold territory as it used to. It still engages in bombings and killing people and all that, but it's been sufficiently degraded. And I think that the Nigerian people are happy. The morale of the troops is high. And you can see a sense of purpose in fighting Boko Haram.
Okay.
However, we've not seen this replicated all over the country regarding all the other worries of the Nigerian people. Rural and urban banditry, kidnappings have become even more rife. And in the last 1 year, Olufala was a victim, Anishilowo was a victim.
The doctor from Luth now, only just yesterday.
And many of our people. As a matter of fact, a lot of our elites are hunkered down in our cities, Lagos, Abuja. They dare not go to their home
towns, villages,
villages in the east, in the south, everywhere, and all that. As a result of the election and other cult-related activities in Rivers State, Rivers State almost became a river of blood, and people were being beheaded left, right, and center. And government seem not to have any response to that. Bear in mind that life and property are very precious. So we've not seen that,
replicated all over the country with the emergence of Niger Delta Avengers too.
Nigerians are hoping to see that, and so we can talk about all
the other areas. The three. Okay, I know you've talked about the issue of security. You understand. Let's wait and just watch this clip. Then you'd continue, to score on the other two planks on which this administration came to power. Let's invite our viewers, and stay back and watch this and hear what Nigerians are saying.
Prudent housekeeping is needed now more than ever in view of the sharp decline in world market oil prices. It is a challenge we have to face squarely. But what counts is not so much what accrues, but how we manage our resources. That is important. We have seen in the last few years how huge resources were mismanaged, squandered, and wasted. The new APC government is embarking on a clean-up, introducing prudence and probity in public financing. At an early stage, the federal government addressed the issue of salary areas in many states, a situation capable of degenerating into social unrest. The APC government stepped in to improve short-term support to the oil states and enable them to pay off the backlog and restore the livelihood of millions of Nigerians.
All right, JT, I put you on pause so that we could just refresh, our memory of what Mr. President said. If you go on to the other two planks.
Yes, corruption, and I'll come back to the economy, not necessarily in the order of importance.
Yeah.
Because the economy is the lifeblood of the country.
Absolutely.
Now, I go to the fight against corruption. I think that the administration has also broken new grounds in the fight against corruption. And we need to acknowledge this, regardless of the political divide we have in the country. now we're in a situation whereby what previous administration couldn't do is being done by this administration. Of course, encouraging the anti-corruption agencies to work. And what do I mean by this? We can, entertain rejection of the anti-corruption war by partisans who are saying, oh, we are being targeted, for example. This is selective, for example. Why are you not, targeting APC people? If you are talking about how the campaign of the president was funded, so how was your own campaign funded also? So why are you not arresting? We can entertain that, even though we may not agree, but we can entertain that. But can we entertain as tenable at all, or even rational, any suggestion that the investigation of soldiers, high-ranking military officers, public servants, head of big corporations of government, who have robbed their constituency blind, had any tinge of political persecution? Can we entertain that kind of suggestion? And so, here we are. For the first time in the history of this country, not in a military regime, we've seen military top brass, who ordinarily were regarded as untouchables, being brought to the threat floor of the justice system, being held to account, being asked questions. People may not imagine the kind of psychological boost people derive from this, in terms of they are now appreciating that. So the rule of law can work. So no matter how tall you are, the law can be taller than you are.
You take its toll.
And all that. So those things are very important for me. That notice is being served, that people will be held to account, and that if you go and steal government money and get corrupt, you'll be dealt with. But that's on the side of law enforcement and all that. The administration has also tried to use structures to fight corruption, which is very important. Two key things. And it may acknowledge that this administration didn't even start it. TSA came under
President
Jonathan, but he allowed the political will to ram it down the throat of the system and force everybody to accept it. This administration looked at it, picked it up, and then insisted. Some people are complaining, oh, it's timing payment, is timing operation of certain sectors, and the university are not functioning very well. ASU is even on record to have come out to kick against it, because the so-called internally generated revenues by university administrators are no longer there for them to spend anyhow. Every money must go into the TSA and all that. So, and it's been acknowledged that they've saved so much, over 3 trillion, using that TSA. The second one is the integrated payment
payroll system.
Payroll system, personnel payroll system, through which 4.2 billion naira is now being saved monthly, and nobody has denied that, because of the elimination of ghost workers and then cutting down costs and all that. I think that all those things are good, but moving forward, it will be expected that this anti-corruption war will be vertically deeper than it is, and horizontally broader than it is, so that nobody will be left in doubt that whether you are a co-party person or you belong to the opposition, once you are identified to be corrupt, you'll be made to answer to the law. So, and I think that what opposition politicians need to do is continue to insist that, oh, you are dealing with us like this, so deal with the others also. Not that, oh, don't deal with us because you are not dealing with others. No, it should be, you are dealing with us, there should be equality before the law. Deal with the others also. This is our own petition. against your minister, so. EFCC, investigate. If EFCC is not investigating, okay, let their lawyers go to court to compel EFCC by another mandamus to perform their public duty. That's how you react to this kind of thing and all that. Now I'm fair, and I will yield the floor for my friend. Economy. The economy is in dire strait right now, and one can say without equivocation, in spite of all the promises that have been made that Nigeria will be better tomorrow, the economy is worse today than it was last year. It's true, and nobody can deny that. So people can say, the government can say that, look, we met a lot of rot, so there's dwindling revenue and all that as explanations for where we are. But there is no denying the fact that the economy is in bad shape. Unfortunately, what I've seen in the last 1 year is that increasingly this administration has been put under unremitting pressure by market economy ideologues, market economy theologians, and adherents of Bretton Woods institutions economy to do what they've always prescribed. And instructively yesterday, in that interview, the president said, I'm under pressure to do all these things that they are recommending. Now, what are they recommending? I'm under pressure to liberalize. I'm under pressure to deregulate. I'm under pressure to devalue the currency. And because I'm not alone in government, I have advisors. So I'm now yielding to them to see how it will carry us. And what are the arguments? We are being told that because our economy is a market-led economy, government should not regulate anything. The market should determine the exchange rate. The market, and I said, when you say that, because they hide the reality under a lot of economic jargons, when they say this, when you say the market, in the Nigerian market, what are we producing locally that we are pushing to the market, that we are selling, so that we have balance of trade, so that we earn foreign exchange from that, other than crude? So what are we producing? So you are import dependent, you import everything under the sun, including food. And you want your market to determine your exchange rate
to be free market economy.
And all that, regulation, all that. And when they say this, and we point to them, you know what happened in the United States during the recent recession? That's the headquarters of capitalism in the world. The government had to intervene.
Oh yes.
Bailouts, the auto industry, everything, they have to pump money there.
Even the stock exchange, the New York Stock Exchange,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
to push money there to stabilize that place. And when you ask them, so why did that happen? Why didn't they allow
the free market
to determine anything? They don't have any answer. So the point I'm making is that you have this president that started out with a mindset that on the economy, certain things have to be done, but who is being told by his economics advisors, virtually all of them, who have that orientation. Their orientation is, even those of them who are not in government, who are criticizing Soludo, Ezekwesili, all of them, they are mouthing this market thing. That's what you need to do.
The same Soludo that printed, you remember when Soludo as CBN governor printed the lower denominator, converted our coins to naira, polymer, and he said they will never forever fade and the rest.
Yes, exactly.
What do we have now?
So the point, my summary on that is that the economy has been in dire straits, and this administration must decide what it wants to do. I still have 3 years.
Okay.
No, one cup. It still has 3 years to do that.
Yeah.
What I mean by this is that what do you want to do? You just want to be remembered as a fantastic preserver of the status quo. Manage Nigeria as it is and deliver Nigeria safely to the next person. Or you want to be a transformational leader. For example, if you want to be a transformational leader, I just give you that example. Those who are crying about foreign exchange scarcity, including some people who have their children overseas in schools, think that they are right in crying about foreign exchange scarcity because they need money to. They are not. I expect the government to say that, sorry, from this year, I am the president. For those who are there, we will see how we can help you get this forest for them to round up their education. Under my watch, we are putting an embargo on foreign education at the first degree level. So what we're going to do, because CBN tells you that in a quarter, in fact last year they told us that the last quarter of last year about $600 million left the shore of Nigeria to pay.
600 million?
Yes.
Or, well, it won't be 600 billion anyway.
Dollars left to pay. And I asked, what has happened to Nigeria where in the 80s, in the 70s, Americans are coming here to come and teach, to be our lecturers.
Absolutely.
You know, in Ibadan, Professor Dolly, you know, that fantastic.
I remember the Ugandan poet Okoye Bitek in Ife.
And all that. So,
loads of them, even in.
So what has happened? And so, how many Americans are even going to Europe to go to university? As rich as America is, in terms of their foreign exchange being used to sponsor. So we need to fix our university. I expect the president now to be saying, look, what we'll do is that we'll fix all these universities. When last did you build student hostels?
I don't think
increase the capacity of this.
They've not built anything.
And massive recruitment of teachers, and tell everybody that's where your children will go to school. But you know what? The president's daughter is
over there. Yeah.
So how does he have the moral courage?
Yeah, Femi Adesina told us that he had to sell one or two of his houses.
How does he have the courage to then say that this is what I want to do? I'm just using that as an example of how we can save foreign exchange.
Yes.
But when you allow your children to go to Togo, to Ghana, pay with foreign exchange from Nigeria, now,
it's ridiculous.
Go to the bureaucracy. Lagos State Civil Service, Federal Government Civil Service, every civil servant, Tom, Dick and Harry has maybe one or two children going to school in Canada, going to
Cyprus.
Nigeria is sick. So you can really do that and say that, Mr. President, this is what I want to do. So we won't allow this kind of thing to continue any longer. But if all we want to do is just to be a status quo preserver, I will fight corruption, but I won't want to do this and all that. We want a transformational leadership, not just a status quo preserver. Absolutely,
GT. Let me come to Junaid. Junaid, your party for 16 years didn't help really grow this economy. Growing the economy, diversifying it away from that monolithic economy that it became when the military, came into power. Because before the military, when true federalism was operational in this country, every region you can point to, every the 3-4 regions then you understand were producing one agricultural product, or produces or the other, not the same. And would you, just like GT said, a lot of your party people are with this one song that the anti-corruption war is just one-sided. How would they, as an opposition party, the PDP, score this government? We're looking at a general developmental approach here.
Thank you very much. I'm going to toe his line by just picking the 3 plans to discuss. Let's look at the issue of security. No doubt, President Buhari have really tried as far as the menace called Boko Haram is concerned. Today, we can see is achieving results in that region. Even contrary to the promise that within 100 days in office, all this is going to become a thing of the past. You see, people need to think very well before they just promise. We are just playing on the emotion of Nigerians, the way people open mouth and just promise on most of these things. But by the way, he has faced it headlong. He has seen it that definitely that 100 day is not feasible. He's on it and is moving. But is it only Boko Haram that we have as security challenge in Nigeria? Others are there. My learned counsellor have already mentioned some of them. But the one that is most painful, that smart hypocrisy on the part of Mr. President, is the latest one, the Fulani herdsmen issue in Southwest. I remember vividly well during the tenure of late Lam Additional, there was a time that some of these Fulani herdsmen were killed in Shaki, somewhere in Oyo State.
Yeah.
President Buhari then was aspiring to become president of Nigeria. I remember vividly well that it was not only Fumi, he led some people to Oyo State to meet
the governor.
Lam Additional then, and he said a lot of things. What now make him to just pretend as if nothing is happening in the Southwest to our people from this Fulani herdsmen today? As
their menace is nationwide. It's nationwide. It's not limited to the Southwest. Even in the Northwest, the cattle rustlers are there. You know, that took over the whole of the Kaduna forest and the rest. To Kano, to Jigawa, to Sokoto.
Mostly in recent time is more in the south. And Mr. President, let's even assume that it's happening in the Northwest that he comes from. Mr. President needs to say something. Everywhere Mr. President speaks, he will mention the issue of Boko Haram. That means it's only Boko Haram that is close to his heart. That is an issue that I have as far as the issue of security is concerned. Let's now go to the issue of corruption. Sometimes when we look at some people, what they stood for in the past and what is happening in the present, my heart aches. Because even non-APC members in Nigeria, they decided to vote for President Muhammadu Buhari because of his past as somebody that was seen to be fair, that was seen to be a kind of
altruistic.
Some people even tag him to be a rigid person, because he's the kind of person that once you see something that is not really the right thing, he will stick out his neck for it. The issue of integrity, people look back and say, this man is seen, he's not having a kind of blemish background like some of his contemporaries. But since Mr. President assumed office, during President Jonathan era, that was the time the lives of Orosai were picked up by EFCC, and their prosecution started from then, and many of them like that. Even the only prosecution that has happened now during this regime, the it started during President Jonathan era. This time that we are now, to me, the issue of corruption, I don't want to take it to be a kind of one particular, because politicians, they are the same everywhere. And I keep on telling people sometimes that with this personality that I know, if somebody is telling me that PDP was bad in terms of tendency, then APC is going to be worse, because most of these personalities, but I don't want us to go into that now. But the issue is this.
No, it's good to let us know. You understand? Because when we're in the public sphere like this, we don't keep anything back.
Thank you. Because immediately Mr. President was sworn in, to some of us, if anybody have served this country and have siphoned the money of this country in whatever form, that person should be investigated and prosecuted. That is my own stand. But if it's happening to the Jews, why not happen to Uganda? Let me give you an example. Mr. Arutu Nyamishi. This is somebody that Nigeria, not only River State people that they are served, everybody keep on pointing accusing finger at him. Fine, I'm not a lawyer, but I know that definitely everybody is presumed to be innocent until he's found guilty by a court of law. So on the basis of that, I can say anybody is free to allege. But there was a petition that was written against Mr. Amishi, submitted to EFCC. What stopped them from doing that? To the extent that most recently, when Mr. President visited UK, one of the, I think one CNN reporter was
the Mail of London.
The Mail of London mentioned it specifically. He mentioned the name of the minister.
I'm sure. Sorry, sorry. You'll come back to some of your points because I know you've not taken a position on the economy that we said. I mean that the president even agreed. This administration agreed that was in a deep and getting out of it. Is like really gargantuan. But GT, this is it enough, to point accusations just like he's raised and a petition before EFCC and EFCC does not think it's duty bound? That's where you said, the order of mandamus is sought in court and the rest. But when an accusation or finger pointing becomes overwhelming in a community, does it not behoove the leadership to really carry out, a thorough investigation of that person to find out the treason?
Yes. It behoves the leadership to do that. The larger issue here is the kind of money we spend on elections.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
And how this money is sourced. People can say that democracy is costly, and they can point to the United States. What's the GDP of the United States vis-a-vis our own GDP here? What's the poverty level index here?
But in the UK, it's not expensive.
It's not expensive because of parliamentary.
The districts are smaller. You get the point. It's not expensive.
Yes, and for good effect, you still have the House of Commons being what it is. Iconic, small. Some of them will stand while they are debating issues and all that, and they will not go. But when you go to our own Abuja and see the sprawling National Assembly, you wonder, what do we even have? If a colonial power, ex-colonial power, could have this small, and then you have
it's a long seat, like a road.
Yes, it's Westminster, 10 Downing Street, small, and compared to
2-bedroom. That's this of the minister.
Yeah,
the official residence.
We're a wasteful lot here. We're a wasteful lot.
4 billion is being budgeted for renovation of the presidential.
They are renovating every day.
They
keep renovating.
Exactly.
Even Senate president mansion is perpetually renovated everywhere.
They are renovating the renovated one.
So it's so sad. But back to the point. Yes, it behoves the leadership to cause an investigation, to even nudge the anti-corruption agency, because that will not be interference or manipulation. It will be taking responsibility and saying that, look, I have a minister against whom serially accusing fingers have been pointed, and I want you to help me check him out, so that if he continues to give me integrity problem, I will then know how to deal with the situation. It behoves any president to do that, and I think that is the right thing to do. However, as I've suggested earlier, for those who feel very concerned about this matter, it's not just it's struggle. It's not just leaving a petition at the edge. If you see that they don't want to do it, take the matter to court say, look, you have a duty to perform. You are a public body. It's in the public interest that you perform this duty. If you are not going to do so, we will compel you to do so. Don't forget. See, Ganifa Emi of blessed memory, during the Tinubu Saduke forgery
saga,
had to go to court to compel the police to investigate.
Yes.
And on that occasion, many thought that the police couldn't even investigate anybody that has the cover of immunity at all. Only for the court to return a verdict that the person may not be prosecuted, but it can
be investigated.
And that became the
ground.
So that once
the president can be investigated.
Yes, once the immunity is lifted,
yes,
that in fact it may even be necessary to investigate him quickly, because some of the pieces of evidence are perishable.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, and so they may evaporate.
Yeah.
So you need to preserve them and keep that
those as evidence until his immunity
and then it's lifted, and then whatever. So I think that can be done. But what is interesting about Rivers State is that before Amechi there was a governor.
Yes.
And that same governor had accusing fingers pointed at him like this. And he then decided at the end of the day to go to court and obtain another injunction.
That is perpetual.
That he should not be investigated. And that's what has been done. So that does not mean if that happened to
do you think that injunction is still subsisting?
Yes. It's subsisting.
And the NJC...
It's not about NJC, it's about the EFCC going to the Court of Appeal to say that, no, this is madness. You can't do this. You know, we will...
This has been on for over 8 years.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
God.
So, we have these huge problems. And so, I think that while I expect, you know, given the kind of campaign the APC ran, to match the PDP in the last election, they spent a lot of money.
Oh, they did.
And so that money came from somewhere.
Yeah.
And our president, you know, we know, doesn't have money, right? He has cattle, he has whatever. His you know, his
assets
the
declaration.
summation of his asset declaration is been published.
Yeah.
And so we can say, oh, this president didn't have this kind of money. So where did he then get the money? Who funded the campaign? And how did they fund it? Nigerians will be interested in knowing that. I know that it is not expected that if you are a beneficiary of that kind of
you now come out and
say
that
in fact, we will raise another moral issue that okay,
why
so
did you collect it?
Because I've helped you to power now, you now want to come and fight it. However, people have a right to continue to insist, Mr. President, your anti-corruption agencies are doing this good work, but we want this work to be broader, we want this work to be deeper. So if some persons are being processed through the EFCC investigation process, and some of them they end up in court now for taking money from Nigeria to fund a campaign, Nigerians will be interested in how your own campaign
was funded.
I think that it's only fair to expect that Nigerians will continue to insist.
Okay. Just before I allow the viewers, you know, to join us in this discussion, I want you to look at the economy. The economy wasn't deepened at all during your party's time, during their reign in office. There are a lot of indices to point at. You get the point. Not 100 kilometers of any trunk A road was started and completed. I mean, we can start from here, the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. Since it was built, you know, constructed over 35 years ago, that's even going to be 38 years, you know, ago, not one tar has been added. In other climes, you have expansion. As population expands, we should be using a 10-lane roads here in Nigeria. No. Is it electricity you want to see? You built, some power stations you built, some are even still uncompleted, largely uncompleted, and the rest, without looking at the source of raw materials and that, you know. So, and during your period, your government never saved, or your government tried to save, but the governors hoodwinked, you know, the leadership. That's why people talk about, you know, having a weak leader at the center and the rest. So, but looking at this administration now, the president and his team, they are right anyway to say that what they thought of was not what they met on ground. The rot they met on ground.
Let me quickly react to that. You see, I know that government is a continuum. Whatever happened during PDP era is already in the archive that everybody can see very clearly, and they can definitely rate that government. But we had an opposition party that was very desperate to come into power, and they were ready to promise even their life to anybody, despite the fact that they know that life is not available.
That it belongs to God anyway.
They were ready to do that. You see, if somebody is now coming around to tell Nigerians that we didn't know that things was like this when we were promising, it speaks volume about the personality of the people. It's either you are an hypocrite or you are inept. Before I can offer this thing to anybody, I must have thought of it that it's something that when I give it out, it's not going to affect me as a person. I should just think very well about it.
The good and the bad of it.
Exactly. So the area of hypocrisy is that definitely that this thing we are saying, we are just saying it to hoodwink people to vote for us. We know that it's not possible. Because how can you tell me that we didn't know that it was like this?
That they didn't know that removing subsidy or not removing subsidy.
Because once you now look at it, sir, you will now discover that this same set of people, when they say hate today, just to maybe suit their purpose today, tomorrow they will be saying B. And they are so heartless that they will not even mind the people that are killed in the sun, inside the rain, to vote for them, to go to them and apologize, which is the hallmark of strong people. Because the issue of subsidy you mentioned, everybody were on the street kicking against it.
But that's mobilization. That's good.
Sir.
Yeah.
They did that, and most of them, they did not only talk. Written statements were made by most of them on this issue then, and all of a sudden their own government is talking about the same subsidy, and they are now saying exact opposite of what they said then. That is just sign of hypocrisy. But on the issue of economy, I will just tell you something that's very clear. President Obasanjo, when he came into power, he did something. He looked at the people that sponsored him, he looked at the politicians around him, he looked at the available human capital that he had then, and he discovered that he still needed some juggernaut. He moved abroad, he had hunted some people, the Okonjo Iweala, the CDAC, most of them there, to come and assist, and some of them they still serve President Jonathan. When President Buhari came into power, the way he promised Nigerians, personally I thought he was going to bring saints as his ministers, and this country was held up for almost 6 months. September 29, when President Buhari was naming his minister, even many APC members were disappointed because he just formed a cabinet of compensation. People that sponsored him, the Amasis of this world, the indigenous of this world, and they keep on putting them. 2 out of the 3 most sensitive ministries. We have a Fashola that is very brilliant. He has performed in Lagos State, but he's human like us. You now put him as the super minister, housing, works, and power. Today, Mr. Raji Fashola's rating has dropped from anything around 70 before to nothing more than 15 today. That is the fact. it's possible for you to move up tomorrow based on the dynamics. Now you want to now put up an economic team. You just get former commissioner of finance from Ogun State to come and become minister for finance.
Yes, that's the state you were. That was the state you were director of research and the rest of.
Thank you very much, sir. It is not about speaking Queen English. It's about capacity. This is somebody that was the commissioner of finance in Ogun State, and he was getting short-term loan to fund long-term projects. I'm not an economist, but it's a very simple logic.
But the governor is a finance expert too.
The governor.
Yeah.
The two of them. I'm even more interested in that commissioner because that is that he has already transferred that thing to federal level now.
Borrowing short-term loans.
You see the capacity of when this woman came to Nigeria like that, you can see the way she was relating with her, because there are some offices that naturally they are bigger than some individuals. That's the fact.
Okay, Junaid, sorry, I'll just put
it. We are having problem with our economy now because the capacity is just not there.
Oh, okay, I'll put you on pause. Let me not jump into the fray here on situations, you know, when you superintend an agency or a ministry, because the thing is that when you have your directors and the rest, all that's why I call some of them technocrats and what you call the bureaucrats and the rest. They should be able to aggregate, you know, issues for you that you present and the rest. It's not as if you're the one that is coming to come and write them. Okonjo Iweala was not a financial expert. She's a development economist and the rest. You get the point. World Bank does not do anything with financial issues. It is strictly development issues and the rest, you know. But I'm just trying to put that in perspective for the better understanding too of our viewers. Okay, it's at this time that we're going to enjoin our viewers to join us on the program, make their contributions. They should please endeavor to make it brief, and remember always the ground norm is for you to turn down the volume of your TV sets when you're calling. The number quickly is calling internationally is +234 816-481-8001, and for the benefit of the unsighted, that number though is onto the right hand corner of your screen. For the benefit of the unsighted, I'll take that number again, +234 for those calling from outside Nigeria, 816-481-8001. But that will be after the break. Join us again.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
With over 7 billion of world population and still counting, the world needs to hear you now than ever. Whatever your ministry or vision is, Gospel Africa will help get you there faster than you think possible. For inquiries and participation, contact 009 503 3859 or 0812-076-0011 or visit www.gospelafricang.com. Gospel Africa, your #1 media solutions for the church today. Gospel Africa, showing on this station at this time. Core TV News now live on all Androids.
Welcome to Core TV Primetime News.
Download Core TV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station. You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
All right, so welcome back. You're still on the last lap now of our breakfast program, participatory and steamy as ever, Core Digest. GT, you know, the disenchantment in the public sphere really is that how come the ruling party never had an economic team, you understand, to work with it and do work and see what was on the ground? They didn't need to be in government. Government will make its presentations like, you know, it happens in other climes, opposition in other climes, so that they have grounded knowledge of issues of the economy or foreign affairs of whatever before coming onto power, so they are not taken by surprise. Our own situation is always ever different. Let's take this chap first from Delta State. Balogun, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Christian Ogado.
Thank you very much. It's been a long, long time.
Exactly. Thank you for bringing this of this conversation.
All right.
I appreciate your guests over there. They are saying the nitty-gritty of facts.
Thank you.
The issue of assessing the president to assess the general mission of our country, we've not moved forward. We are at the status quo as former president left. We've not made any move. The issue are more even looking more confused. If you look, formerly it was Boko Haram. Now it is Niger Delta Avengers and the Fulani Esme. Economic is a standstill. Nigerians are hungry. Briefly, what I want to say, Nigeria needs a serious reformation. I have seen that this form of democracy can't take us. Nigeria needs to sit down and discuss how Nigeria will look like. President Buhari will never make difference. I have seen it. Look at his cabinet. He cannot make a difference. Nigeria needs a total restructure. We need to tamper with some of our law in the constitution. We are running a unitary system of government in the name of democracy, in the name of federalism. This is not a federalism. The lawyer there knows more better what we are practicing. This is not what they practice in America. When the economic America want to go into recession, American government bailed the country out. Nigeria is about to go into recession. Our government told us we are deregulating the tax record so that government will have nothing to do with business. Nigeria is about going into recession. We believe in this country. Nigeria needs a total restructuring so that we can live out of this quagmire. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
All right. Thank you very much, Balogun. You know, to the question, and not too far from what I asked anyway, but just preparatory, you know, to people being in opposition and not really taking the bull by the horns.
No, quite frankly, to be fair to those who are in government now, there was no grand strategizing for the possibility of attaining power and to use that power quickly. So that's why this government started out sluggishly. Took them an eternity before they could form a government. And I don't blame them much. You know why? In this climate, even during the election, not many people believed, or many people didn't believe that it was possible for an opposition party to come to power in Nigeria.
Yeah.
As they were voting, they were still entertaining doubts that wasn't going to happen. And that it was impossible to chase an incumbent out of power in Nigeria. It has never happened before. And so... can
we just quickly go to Kaduna and take Vincent, please? I'm sorry to interject here. Good morning, Vincent.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Please quickly tell us what your thoughts are on our topic now.
In respect of assessment of our president, the economy is in shambles. We are everybody is crying. They look at the bag of rice now, it's rising. These are the same people that are not going to regulate the oil sector. They were facing CBP as if they want to cause war in this country. When they back are in Lagos, gather people in Lagos, they say they don't want regulation. Our present government now, Buhari said, if he comes to power, he is going to bring the fuel price to 40 naira. He says he's going to pay unemployment youth 5,000 naira and the graduates 10,000 naira. All their promises, there's nothing they have done in respect of their promises. Now, the thing is rising. Costly things we are not easy to eat now is the problem. And this is traveling about. You know, APC didn't come to power to work. They come to power to fight. Had it been Jonathan refused to hand over power to them that time, we would have been in war now. Because they are ready to fight.
Okay.
They are not there to build this nation.
Okay, Vincent, thank you very much. You've made your point. GT, I don't want to digress quickly here, but maybe you can just take one or two of the issues you just raised.
No.
They were not prepared for governance.
I can take everything together. and it's easy for us to, in my public criticism of those who are in government, I try as much as possible to give them allowances so that people won't say that, oh, talk is cheap.
Come and do the talk.
And all that. The truth of the matter is that Nigeria was not run well in the past 16 years. And if Nigeria was not run well in the past 16 years, except you want to disagree with me that it was run well, then how then do you expect for it to be run so well in 1 year? If 16 years Nigeria was not being run well, how do you expect or imagine that it was going to be run very well in just 1 year following those 16 years? And so for me, while criticism of the current administration is valid on many fronts, that's not to suggest that where we are coming from was better than this. So, and I think that people need to be careful the way they do their comparisons. This country was run aground. Never seen the kind of haste that we had under the past administration. And nobody that has integrity ought to come forward to say that, oh, it was better then. It wasn't.
Okay.
And we now see everything.
Okay, let's go to Akwa Ibom State and join Utibe. Utibe, main serial.
I'm in there.
Thank you for joining us. That's all I can utter there, except I want to eat a pankuko and others.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, go on.
Mr. Christian.
Thank you.
I want to congratulate the two young men that are there with you.
All right.
They're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I want to say something about the economy.
Go on.
Okay. Now, the federal government are behaving in an attitude or a way that Nigerians don't like. Now, the Avengers, the Niger Delta Avengers, they came up with threats. The federal government had this threat. And they did nothing about it. Now, when that threat came up, we expected the federal government to do something about it, either a dialogue or something, to trying to find out what it is these people wanted. They did nothing about it. Now, these people understand that the only way to get the federal government to hear them is to create a scene. And they actually created a scene. Now the federal government are listening to them. Now, the question is, must the federal government always wait until a scene is created before they
You
can
open
take
dialogue.
an action.
Okay. Thank you very much, Utibe. You've hit the nail on the head by asking that. Junaid, you want to respond to what Utibe has said and maybe bits and pieces about, the...
Really, I want to primarily react to what
go ahead. Go ahead.
Because most of these things, it's better for us to put them on the table to see it clearly.
Your government, the PDP, the last administration grew the economy to the largest in Africa.
Yes.
Some people will say it's on paper.
Some people will say it's on paper. But let me even come from this perspective, which is still the issue of hypocrisy on the part of the current administration. Let's assume and agree with them that last government did nothing, although most of them have been recanting in recent times. Fashola said it, Amishi himself even said it, against what they've been saying.
And quite a number of them are from PDP too.
That's where I'm going to. That you have come into a government now that, okay, last government did not do anything at all. You are here now, you want to assemble a cabinet, you are putting an Amishi there, 16-year product of PDP, you are putting Ngige there, almost 11 years of PDP, even the Fayemi started from PDP. Dogara of this world, most of them that come from new PDP, someone like Amishi has become a saint just because he decamped to APC. You see, and you are saying you want to do something different from what PDP was doing. Definitely, you are only deceiving yourself because Nigerians are wiser. That is the fact. And quite unfortunately, this is the same government that promised legion of promises and they got into office. Let me give you an example. The issue of the job seekers. They said they are going to give them 5,000 naira. For the estimated their number to be 25 million. Then.
Sorry, before you just go on, let's go to the nation's capital in Abuja and join Bello. Good morning, Bello.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, Bello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now. Can you quickly make your contribution?
Yeah, my contribution here is that, yeah, we really know that President Buhari have made things very difficult in his office. Yeah, but absolutely, he has to go into view and find the exactly problem. What are the masses of this country are really crying on? For instance, there are so many people now that are crying just for them to get a bag of rice is being problem for them. And those people that are crying, they are the ones that have really came out for him and voted for him. Some have even lost their lives, but he failed to even put that in a consideration while people are just crying all over the country.
Okay, thank you very much, Bello from Abuja, the nation's capital. You know my worry here when people talk about the economy, the downturn of the economy, for the ordinary man on the street is what is on the table. Yeah. Gentlemen, must it be rice alone? Has rice become our staple food in this country?
Let me just conclude what I was saying now.
Okay. Yeah. Quickly balance that.
You see, you promised 5,000 naira to 25 million job seekers as part of your electionary promises. Suddenly, President Buhari said that is not possible again. As if that is not enough, he said that was the promise of his own party, not from himself. Can you see contradiction? That is one. This is a party that said 3 million jobs is going to be provided every year throughout their 4 years. If you get to office and that is not possible again, what stop you to be human enough and just come and say, please, Nigerian, we said this, but due to this, we are not going to do it yet, but don't worry, it's still there. The next thing is for a pastor of Redeemed Church, vice president, who for that singular had disappointed me for the first time because I rated him so much, said when they said the 3 million job throughout their tenure. All these things, as they were saying it, they have been, even they are still on their website. If you go to Buhari meter, all these things are there. all the promises. The one that was made through their manifesto is there. In fact, they separated everything. They are talking about anti-corruption fight. Just less than 2 weeks ago, there was a memo that was leaked from Ministry of Information, where the main megaphone of the party, before he became the information minister now, was looking for that loan of 30 million naira. For what purpose? Tourism mission in China.
It's a loan now. It's not.
How can you go for loan for that kind of purpose? And it's now leaked, and they are now trying to look for head to roll in that place. And Nigerians are suffering. Every woman that go to market now, they come back home and be just getting nagging, and their husband are so because what
and there's so many soups to cook without using tomatoes. From where I come from in the Niger Delta, there's so much soups. You make pepper soup and mix it, with small okra, pepper and the rest, and your fish or whatever you've eaten. Even though tomatoes, they say, is not, and we know the ravages of tomato. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that,
yes,
lighten the situation already. But GT, we're rounding up now because we've got less than 5 minutes to go. But let's just take Christopher from Akwa Ibom. Good morning, Christopher.
Good morning. I want to say good morning to all of you in the studio today.
Thank you.
I want to contribute to your program.
Please go ahead quickly, very quickly. You're going to be our last caller.
This government, I can say, we're not really prepared for rulership. And I don't know the reason why the president, during his speeches, he touched the Boko Haram issue and the Avengers, and did not, maybe intentionally or not intentionally, omitted the Fulani herdsmen invasion in the country. I don't know what that means. So I can say these omissions means they were not really prepared for ownership. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Christopher. Now, gentlemen, let us wind up with, an overview, or you want to do a little response to quickly wind down?
Now, let's face it, Nigeria needs a makeover. And Nigeria needs transformation. Nigeria doesn't need preserving the status quo and managing the status quo and then delivering it to future leaders. And when I'm talking about a makeover, I mean a makeover in all ramifications. I listen to Nigeria attentively, and sometimes I wonder whether they know the kind of crisis we have on our hands, on all fronts. The crisis we have is huge. It's not about a day-to-day living. It's not about rice becoming 7,000 or 5,000. That's not the crisis. The crisis permeates all our sectors, socioeconomic life, political life, and all that. And so in making over Nigeria, we need to touch all the sectors. Let me say that I'm not persuaded by the argument usually made by partisans about where we are coming from. We were all in this country when PDP was governing this country. And now people are going everywhere talking about the prospect of a PDP bouncing back in 2019. May it not be the lot. And my friend here may be angry with me, but may it not be the political destiny of Nigeria for PDP to come back. What I want is a situation whereby a new party will emerge to the left of the APC.
Absolutely.
And pose an alternative.
Yeah.
Nigeria cannot be condemned.
Not with the same old brigade saying they want to form. Not the same old brigade.
Nigeria cannot be condemned to oscillating between the devil and the deep blue sea. So if it's not really the APC, no. Yeah. Because, you will need to have a different perception about government. We said something just now and we're all laughing, but it's very serious. How do you see government? Why is it that the government that we have now, the president that we even have now, has found it difficult to abandon the trappings of power? For example, why would the president inherit 11 planes?
12.
And not do away with them? Where we are coming from, when Tafawa Balewa was there, did they have a plane?
No.
Did Nnamdi Azikiwe have a plane?
No.
Why did they govern in Nigeria? So how did it happen that something that started with Shagari,
but GT,
and
the
so
CBN governor, NNPC, GMD, they fly private jets.
Yes. So you will need. So it is not that the problem is huge. You will need to recalibrate governance and then say, look, this is where we need to go. Otherwise, we'll just be papering over this and say, okay, yes, let there be rice and everything is okay. Let there be fuel. Everything will not be okay. That is not how you reinvent
governance.
A country. And I think that's what we need moving forward. So that we don't come back here in another 1 year and say that, okay,
what has changed?
Maybe the price of rice has fallen now. So
and Junaid is happy. Okay, Junaid, quickly now, you have less than 60 seconds to round up.
A government that came into power on the strength of common Nigerians. What they are interested in is not the problem President Buhari and his cabinet member are facing in Abuja. They believe they are up to the task. That's why they presented themselves and they voted for them. What my own mother in the village is interested in is for her to go to market and get whatever she needs to get at affordable price. That is what common man is interested in. Any government that doesn't have the interest of common mercy as the forefront of their policy is no government to African citizens. After that, they can face other issues confronting them. But for me, I am representing that constituency. And one government is doing that.
Wale Junaid, you don't seem to believe in the scriptural dictum that man does not live by bread alone. Okay, it's on that note that I want to say a big thank you to you. Wale Junaid is the former director of research, Ogun State PDP, and don't forget that that's the home of former Nigeria's president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Yes. I wondered how you related with him then when he was president. You were director of.
As a father, we prostrate to him. And
you have no choice but to prostrate to him.
Even when people have abused him in the past.
They come back.
They justify it and say that yes, you always
they come back. Yeah. I think I see ex-president Jonathan too coming back to prostrate. I will call him. I will call him but to packed out, during the campaign. I think that was really too much, Thank you very much, GT Ogunye. He's a legal practitioner, right crusader, and the rest. It's always a delight having you in the studios. And I think for this time out is probably going to be I wouldn't say my last presentation, but for the time being, duty calls again in the nation's capital. So you probably will be definitely you'll be hearing my voice from Abuja from the 1st of June. And we're in the works of setting up big studios there too, so that you can take us from every part of the country and indeed the world. My name is Christian Ogado. It's always been wonderful being your anchor on this program. It's a steamy participatory breakfast program called Digest, and I'll leave with very, very fond memories of not only our guests but you wonderful viewers from within and outside the country, the entire production crew, the everyday, research that usually will go on to the program. It's so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful being with you. Thanks for watching, and I would say bye-bye until I see you sometime again. Bye.
Is it wallcracy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, child looters that are are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.